Coming up today, another council raises concerns about a surprise renewable energy zone proposal. An urgent call for animal foster carers in Gippsland. Sweeping changes announced for council meetings in New South Wales. A censured Parramatta councillor's court win. A council GM un-resigns and gets a new 5-year deal. Councils rejecting phone tower proposals. The toll mounts from a stubborn algal bloom in South Australia. And the city looking to limit residents' smartphone use. Hello, it's Chris Eddy back with another selection of news from and about councils from across Australia and beyond. It's the Local Government News Roundup, brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association, the national broadcaster on all things local government. It's Monday the 1st of September and spring has arrived. Welcome to a brand new week of the Roundup. Greater Shepparton City Council has called for an urgent review of a newly proposed renewable energy zone between Shepparton East and Benalla. The zone was unexpectedly included in the 2025 Victorian Transmission Plan announced recently. The Shepparton News reported that the council will prepare a submission to VicGrid on its concerns about potential impacts on high-value agricultural land. A 6-week feedback period starts mid-September. Animal Aid in Bairnsdale is urgently seeking foster carers to temporarily house dogs due to an unprecedented influx of animals that has overwhelmed their shelter capacity. East Gippsland Shire Mayor John White has encouraged the community to step up and support the services by becoming foster carers, and he's highlighted the importance of responsible pet ownership. Animal Aid will provide necessary supplies and support, while foster families offer safe environments and care for animals in need. Baw Baw Shire Mayor Councillor Danny Goss has led a historic repatriation of 37 cultural artefacts to the Lardil people of Mornington Island. The council said the trip to far north Queensland marks a significant step towards reconciliation. The items include bark paintings, jewellery and wood carvings and were originally brought to Warragul in 1982. They'll now be stored in the Mornington Island community's cultural keeping place for future generations. The Mayor personally funded his own return airfares to Mornington Island. Wodonga Council has voted against an officer recommendation to approve a planning permit for a telecommunications tower at Bandiana. The Border Mail reported that the Telstra Tower was proposed to be built on Crown land, 40 metres from existing properties. The matter was brought before the council as the number of objections exceeded a threshold of 5. It was unanimously rejected and will potentially now be taken to VCAT for review. In a similar story coming up in our national roundup, another council is headed to court over the rejection of a phone tower. Details coming up. Macedon Ranges Council has decided to close the customer service function of the Woodend Community Centre due to declining attendance and potential annual savings of nearly $38,000. The service, which sees an average of 8 customers per day, will close at the end of the year. The closure only affects the customer service desk, while other services, including the Woodend Library, will continue to operate normally. And Wyndham City Council has engaged former Victorian State Minister Justin Madden to review the development agreement and governance frameworks for the Wyndham Stadium precinct. This follows recent developments with the Western Melbourne Group. The independent review aims to ensure the best outcome for the community while protecting ratepayer interests in this council-owned land project. More news in brief. Alpine Shire Council reopened services in Bright on Friday after shutting down earlier in the week while a police manhunt continued in the Porpunka area. The Porpunka transfer station will remain closed until further notice. The City of Greater Geelong and the Australia-India Business Council have signed a strategic MOU to advance bilateral trade and investment between the Geelong region and India. The collaboration will include initiatives like information exchange and investment promotion to create sustainable growth and prosperity for businesses in both regions. And a $4 million upgrade to the much-loved Rokeby to Nudgee Trail has been officially opened, with a celebration attended by Baw Baw Shire councillors and MP Harriet Shing. The 15-kilometre section from Rokeby to Neerim South now has an improved trail service, redeveloped car parks, new signage and upgraded amenities. This is the Local Government News Roundup for Monday the 1st of September. With spring upon us, we start to realise how much of the year is left, and the mayoral election season in Victoria is not that far away. It's also time to look forward to the VLGA's mayoral leadership program, which is designed to equip mayors and deputy mayors with the knowledge they need to lead their council effectively and with good governance at their foundation. It is mandatory now for mayors and deputy mayors to undertake the training at the commencement of each mayoral term, and the training must be completed by the 31st of December. The VLGA's mayoral leadership program covers the roles and responsibilities of a mayor, the mayor-CEO relationship, how to chair a council meeting, managing difficult conversations, dispute resolution and effective communications and media training. It directly aligns with the state government's mandatory professional development requirements. Now, places are filling fast for the session, which is being held on Friday the 28th of November. If your council hasn't reserved its place, you really need to think about doing that soon. It'll be at the Monash Conference Centre at 30 Collins Street, Melbourne, from 9:30 to 4:30 on Friday the 28th of November. Have a chat to a member of the team at the VLGA to find out more, or head to the website as your first port of call, vlga.org.au. A major announcement from the New South Wales Government on Friday, with sweeping changes coming to how local council meetings will operate across the state. A new era of transparency, it's been called, and it's set to begin from January. Under the Minns Labor government reforms, council meetings will face stricter rules designed to boost public confidence. The new model code of meeting practice will prohibit private councillor briefings on matters that should be discussed publicly, and will require councils to live stream all meetings. The Minister, Ron Honig, says the changes aim to restore dignity to council chambers and ensure decisions are made in full view of the communities they represent. Mayors will also gain expanded powers to remove disorderly councillors and disruptive members of the public from meetings. Significant misconduct cases will in future go to the Land and Environment Court rather than the New South Wales Civil and Administrative Tribunal, a move that the Sunday Telegraph reported would speed up the process of dealing with such matters. All New South Wales councils must adopt the new meeting practices by the 31st of December, with the changes taking effect from the 1st of January. The New South Wales Supreme Court has quashed the censure of Parramatta City Councillor Kelly Darley, who was punished for speaking out against a partnership deal with the Parramatta Eels Rugby League Club. ABC News reported that Acting Justice Monica Schmidt found that Councillor Darley was denied procedural fairness and was a victim of bias during the conduct review process that led to her censure in July last year. The court ordered both the censure and the conduct review be invalidated, ruling that the independent reviewer had not acted impartially. Councillor Darley had been censured after posting on social media about details of the council's $1.1 million partnership with the Eels, which was approved in January 2024 in a split vote. The City of Parramatta says it's reviewing the court's decision. Lithgow Mayor Cassandra Coleman is urging state and federal governments to jointly acquire the Pacific National Rail Yard site to transform the region's economy as it transitions away from coal dependency. The acquisition would help offset the anticipated loss of around 1,100 local jobs in the coal mining and power industry over the next decade. Mayor Coleman said government ownership of the site would demonstrate a commitment to New South Wales's economic transformation and developing a skilled workforce. Eurobodalla Shire Council has officially abandoned controversial plans that would have allowed camping in popular coastal reserves near Batemans Bay. About Regional reported that the proposal faced significant community opposition, with more than 400 residents signing a petition against the move. Local business owners were concerned that the camping plan would create issues with noise and waste management, while potentially undermining existing accommodation providers in the area. The council has now approved an amended plan of management that significantly restricts camping, allowing it only during special events with 24-hour security present. Armidale Regional Council General Manager James Ronkin has been reappointed to a new 5-year deal after advising nearly 12 months ago that he would be moving on. Mr Ronkin was due to leave his position at the end of his last contract, but agreed to stay on while the council arranged a transition process. But last week, in a closed session, the council resolved to offer Mr Ronkin a new 5-year contract commencing this month and congratulated him on his performance to date. In Queensland, the Sunshine Coast News reports the telecommunications provider Wavecon is taking Sunshine Coast Council to court after their plans for a 31-metre phone tower were rejected last month. The council voted 10-1 against the proposal, citing concerns about the tower's impact on the area's rural character and visual amenity. The proposed tower on Campbell Street faced significant community opposition, with over 440 submissions and 6 petitions containing 253 signatures lodged against the development. Wavecon argues the infrastructure is necessary to provide reliable 5G services to Woombye residents and businesses. Their appeal, filed on August 22nd in the Planning and Environment Court, claims the development would not unacceptably impact the character of the area. And a former Cookshire Council manager, Alana Haberman, has been awarded $2.36 million in damages after suffering psychiatric injury when the council failed to clarify that a racist email circulated in her name was fabricated. The fake email, which falsely portrayed her as a racist toward an Aboriginal corporation during a rates dispute, was eventually tabled in Parliament. The Cairns Post reported the damages awarded include amounts for future and past economic loss. A costs hearing has been set for later this month. More news in brief. Pollution signage has been removed from all impacted beaches in Central Coast in New South Wales, with the mysterious debris balls no longer present. The council advised on Friday that analysis of the debris is still underway. Hawkesbury City Council's new Aboriginal teaching garden will open to the public on the 14th of September with a community event featuring Welcome to Country, smoking ceremony and dance performances. The garden celebrates Aboriginal knowledge and local plant use, created in partnership with Darug and Aboriginal community organisations. And Cairns Regional Council is hosting its first ever careers fair this week, offering job seekers the opportunity to explore diverse employment opportunities in local government. The event will showcase various career pathways from apprenticeships to professional roles, allowing attendees to meet hiring managers, learn about employee benefits and gain insights into council's workplace culture. From Tasmania now, the City of Hobart is trialling AI software to identify unauthorised short-term rental properties. ABC News reported that the software has already flagged 4 potential violators who may be avoiding higher council rates imposed on such accommodations. The software is being tested for 12 months, after which a decision will be made on whether its effectiveness and cost benefits warrant permanent adoption. In South Australia, The Guardian has reported on how workers from the city of Charles Sturt are collecting up to 200 kilograms of dead marine life daily from beaches affected by a stubborn algal bloom. The bloom has killed animals from 480 different species and caused significant ecological damage. It's also causing collective trauma and eco-anxiety in the community, as the bloom, likely caused by climate change-induced marine heatwaves, continues to pulsate with no end in sight. Salisbury Council has revealed an ambitious 25-year economic strategy that includes RM Williams expanding its Adelaide operations and plans to create over 37,000 jobs in a new industrial precinct west of Port Wakefield Road. The comprehensive plan also involves developing 1,600 homes on council land and unlocking more than 1,000 hectares of industrial and commercial land through partnerships with the state government. The Advertiser reported that the plan was unveiled at a special event last week, attended by the Deputy Premier and RM Williams Chief Operating Officer. The City of South Perth has adopted a new planning policy to help assess how new developments exceeding typical height limits might impact views from neighbouring buildings. The policy directs the city to consider the likely impact of developments that propose a non-standard building height and ensures a balanced approach between preserving significant views and allowing reasonable development. And the town of Port Hedland is mourning one of its most beloved community figures, Arnold Carter, whose 60-year legacy helped to shape the region. After arriving in 1962, he helped establish Port Hedland as a key iron ore export hub while working with Mount Goldsworthy Mining Associates. Mr Arnold served 34 years on council, including as Shire President from 1979 to 1985. He survived 29 cyclones and owned 26 local businesses, and his legacy lives on through local infrastructure and community groups. Valet, Arnold Carter. Now for some stories making news overseas in the world of local government, starting in the UK, where the Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner is reportedly planning to introduce tougher sanctions on English councils that block housing developments. The Guardian reported that the move will potentially force councils to approve new developments or risk handling planning control to Whitehall. The government aims to deliver 1.5 million new homes by the end of Parliament, though planning bodies argue that developers already have sufficient approvals and are reluctant to build due to economic factors. Meanwhile, it's been revealed that the UK government's plan to merge councils in 21 English areas into single authorities has not been supported by independent cost analysis. The BBC reported that initial analysis, with savings estimates of £2.9 billion, has been revised, and the mergers will likely now cost money instead. The County Council Network, whose initial analysis the government relied on, is warning that the proposed reorganisation will cost £850 million over 5 years and deliver no new savings if 58 new councils are created from existing two-tier areas. Norwich City Council has abandoned a major IT project after years of delays and technical issues. The BBC reported the council has reached a confidential settlement with contractor Civica. The cloud-based workflow management system, originally scheduled for completion in 2023, faced multiple setbacks, leading the council to retain its existing desktop-based system. It's facing criticism for a lack of transparency regarding the compensation amount. Here's an update on a story we brought you some months ago. Patrick Braxton, the first black mayor of New Bern, Alabama, has won re-election with 66 votes against 26 for his opponent, solidifying his position after previously being locked out of office by white residents who refused to let him serve. The Telegraph reported that the election was held under a federal settlement following a lawsuit against the town's hand-me-down governance system. The outcome represents a significant turning point for democratic representation in the small town, where black residents outnumber white residents by 2-1. In Connecticut, Bridgeport City Council member Alfredo Castillo is facing 10 additional charges related to absentee ballot tampering in the state's largest city. ABC News reported that the new counts have been added to previous charges from earlier this year. The case is part of a broader investigation that led to a court-ordered election rerun and has contributed to concerns about election security in the United States. Let's head to Canada. Ottawa City Council has voted to reprimand one of its councillors for using memes and emojis that allegedly harassed residents during online debates about housing asylum seekers. But CBC reported that the council rejected the Integrity Commissioner's recommendation to dock the pay of Councillor Stephanie Plante, who's maintained that her social media posts did not constitute abuse or bullying. She's said to be considering appealing the decision to Superior Court. From Ontario's CTV News reports that multiple Essex County municipalities, including LaSalle and Leamington, are moving forward with discussions on implementing a municipal accommodation tax on hotel stays and short-term rentals to generate additional revenue for tourism-related initiatives. The tax would create a new funding source that doesn't burden local homeowners, with revenue being split between municipalities and tourism bodies to support tourism infrastructure and events. In New Zealand, Auckland Council has welcomed the government's significant strengthening of penalties for breaches of the Resource Management Act, with maximum fines increasing to $1 million for individuals and $10 million for companies, alongside new cost recovery provisions for councils. The legislative changes represent the most substantial reform of RMA enforcement in decades and aim to deter environmental breaches by ensuring violators face appropriate consequences for their actions. And finally, the Japanese city of Toyaki has proposed an ordinance urging residents to restrict their smartphone use to 2 hours per day. The non-binding measure would also recommend screen time be avoided completely during certain evening hours. The Guardian reported that residents have not responded positively to the move, which they see as an infringement on personal freedom. But the city's mayor hopes it will encourage families to discuss their device usage habits, with the aim of dealing with physical and mental health issues caused by excessive use of devices. You've been listening to the Local Government News Roundup, edition number 485, recorded on the morning of Monday, the 1st of September 2025. If you have comments or feedback, you can send an email to lgweeklynews@gmail.com, and you can find out more about this episode, including story links, at lgnewsroundup.com. The podcast is brought to you by the Victorian Local Governance Association, your councillor support network in Victoria, and the national broadcaster on all things local government. The Local Government News Roundup is recorded in the city of Greater Geelong, Victoria, on the land of the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation. We come your way every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Until our next edition on Wednesday, thanks for listening and bye for now. The VLGA is offering a special councillor professional development intensive series. Partner with 3 other councils and save more than 50% off the minimum cost of completing all 13 modules in Year 1. The intensives will be held over 3 days. They're cost-effective, time-efficient and promote the benefits of peer-to-peer and face-to-face learning. In addition to the intensives and in recognition that every council has different needs, the VLGA also offers bespoke training options, both online and in person. A faculty of facilitators will work with you to customise a program that responds directly to the unique professional development needs of your council. To find out more, head to www.vlga.org.au.